What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another trade/market recap video. In today's video, we're going to be breaking down how I ended up making 18.5K, $18,500 across 5 Top Step X accounts and 1 MyFunded Futures Expert account. Absolutely killer day, and it was just really just like a 35-point scalp. It was nothing crazy, but I was bullish for the day, and I'm going to walk you through what I saw, my thought process, and literally break down everything in between. All right, so let's bring you guys back to yesterday's closing price and today's actually opening price, right? So what I was telling my private group yesterday during our private market recap, because yesterday I did not take any trades. There wasn't anything for me to take, unfortunately. I ended up missing out on some longs, which is perfectly fine. It was only Monday, but what I was telling them at the market recap that we do every single day in the group, if you guys want to join, 5-day free trial down below. I know, shameless plug, whatever. So what I was basically telling them was I wanted one of the extremes to get taken first. So on ES, the extremes were right here of this little 1 hour range. And the reason why is because we had these equal lows right here on ES. And if you guys don't know, anytime ES has perfect equal lows, like I'm talking about perfect equal lows like this right here. If I go to the 15-minute chart, you guys will see ES having very, very perfect equal lows. Like literally, this is like extremely perfect. Like if you look at the low here, 58.8650, and then this one is 58.8650. So it's literally perfect, like perfect equal lows. Anytime ES has that or equal highs like that, that is a very strong magnet for price, right? So what I was telling them yesterday during our private market recap and outlook that I was giving them during that market recap was, basically, I want to see either the previous day high get swept or the previous day low, which again, these were relative equal lows right here on NQ. So I wanted to see either these lows get swept or this high get swept and then go from there. So you could see that yesterday during the opening of the new daily candle, we ended up pushing up off of this 1 hour fair value gap here on ES, sweeping the previous day high here. So that ended up causing a SMT divergence on NQ, as you guys can see here. So SMT divergence at the previous day high. And then we started getting confirmations off of this rejection block here and off of these 1 hour POIs or the 1 hour fair value gaps. We started getting confirmations on the lower time frames that this wanted to go lower. So we got a 15-minute change in delivery out of this 15-minute order block and a 15-minute fair value gap. And also the more important one was a 4 hour fair value gap. So we started getting a 15-minute change in delivery. And you could see what shortly happens after. London here, 3 a.m. opens higher to sweep this liquidity one more time. And then it ends up dumping down to previous day low. So ES ended up taking the previous day high and the previous day low during the hours of London session. Then we started slowly retracing. And then one more dump here off of I believe it was some war news, something about the U.S. striking Ukraine or something like that. So I believe that's what caused this dump, but we ended up sweeping the previous week low on both assets actually. So if I just fast forward here, you can see NQ dumping lower down to sweep out all these relative equal lows here, the previous day low and the previous week low, which again is that one of the extremes off of this range right here. So after we ended up sweeping that, 9 a.m. opened lower. So it opened lower to sweep the previous week low, which is what you want to see if you're bullish, right? An open low. You want the candles to open low first. So we ended up opening lower here, forming a 1 hour CRT. So if you guys don't know what CRT is, it is candle range theory. It's basically trading candles as ranges. So as soon as the 9 a.m. candle closed and 10 a.m. was going to open, all we want to do and all we want to look for is 10 a.m. to open lower first into some sort of bullish POI using time frame alignment. Since we're looking at a 1 hour CRT, we want it to ideally open lower on the 5-minute into a 5-minute bullish POI under the opening price of 10 a.m., under the opening price of that third candle, right? If we're expecting distribution to the upside, which again, at the CRT high, we have relative equal highs on the lower time frame. So if I just put your attention here on NQ, if we go to the 5-minute and we look at how 10 a.m. opened, again, just full transparency, I did not take any trades right here. I was waiting for a 15-minute change in delivery off of a 4 hour POI, which I will show you guys here in a little bit, because the market open here at 9:30 was pretty choppy. It was just pretty back and forth off of a 15-minute fair value gap here. So we could see if we fast forward here, 10 a.m. did open lower, but on the 5-minute time frame, we didn't really open lower into any bullish PD array. The only thing that was making sense for upside around this area was a bullish SMT right here with ES. But again, it wasn't tapping into anything at 10 a.m. So when 10 a.m. opened lower here, wasn't tapping into anything that I would have liked, like a fair value gap, an order block, or something like that. There wasn't any taps. So ideally, again, if we go to the 4 hour, you can see this 4 hour candle open lower, the 6 a.m. one open lower to sweep previous week low. And we were in this 4 hour fair value gap right here. So drag that out right there. We tap it. Remember, wicks do the damage, bodies tell the story. We never close their body below it. So with the sweep of previous week low and we're closing like this, when the next 4 hour candle opens, which in this case is the 10 a.m. candle, we want it to open lower because we also have a 4 hour CRT. So this is our 4 hour range. So this is giving me a bullish bias for the rest of the day. Now on the 15-minute time frame, let me go ahead and delete some of these lines because it is getting a bit messy. On the 15-minute time frame, all I wanted to see was just a change in delivery out of this 4 hour fair value gap on the 15-minute time frame. Because if we're looking at 4 hour PD arrays or 4 hour points of interest where we think the market is going to reverse from, to get confirmation, we want to use time frame alignment. So on the 15-minute time frame, I want a body closure above the opening price of this first down close candle in the series of down close candles. So this whole series of down close candles that taps into this 4 hour fair value gap and sweeps the previous week low, I want a closure up here, a body closure above that opening price. I don't necessarily need a closure above these highs, right? Because it didn't even close above those highs. I just need a closure above the opening price of that first down close candle in the series of down close candles. Now, if this was one singular candle, then all I would need is just a closure above that singular candle. But since it's a series, I want it above the first down close candle there. So you can see as soon as we get a closure above that opening price there, we just start rallying higher, okay? So I wanted to focus on the PM session since we ended up sweeping liquidity right here during the 11:30 15-minute candle. We ended up sweeping liquidity there and then retracing. So this is where I started paying attention to the market because my drawn liquidity was going to be the previous day high right here, okay? So I want you guys to bring your attention here to this 15-minute POI, okay? So this 15-minute PD array right here. And I always tell my students that are in the Discord and stuff that the last fair value gap that forms that sends price to go sweep high or break highs is the most important fair value gap. It's literally like the true fair value gap because that fair value gap is going to determine whether you're going to continue or if it's going to retrace even lower. So this is where I started paying attention to, right? When 12 o'clock opened, it opened lower, but you can see the 15-minute candle ended up respecting it, right? The bodies ended up respecting this 15-minute bullish fair value gap that sent price to go sweep these highs. Very, very important. 12:15 open lower. It looked like it was about to close below the fair value gap and retrace even lower, possibly to the CISD, but it did not. It was wicks, right? Wicks do the damage, bodies tell the story. So if we go to the 1 minute using time frame alignment, as long as it's respecting it and closing within this fair value gap and respecting it, we can look for a 1 minute change in the state of delivery. Okay, so now we have 12 o'clock coming to a close. We get a nice break of structure, a nice change in delivery, and a nice breaker block right next to the change in state of delivery. So this was my main confluence here, right? This breaker block, this change in delivery, and the 15-minute being respected. Plus, we had a very nice draw on liquidity, which was the previous day high up here, right? This was my DOL for the rest of the day or for the start of the afternoon session. So you can see we ended up coming to sweep liquidity up here, right? This internal buy side right there. And then we ended up retracing for a little bit. And what I wanted to see here was exactly what happened. 1 p.m. open lower into a bullish POI, right? So we ended up sweeping this internal sell side right here in this breaker block area. And then we ended up getting a very, very nice push up here, forming a 1 minute balanced price range. So basically an overlapped SIBI with an overlapped BISI. So meaning an overlapped bearish fair value gap with an overlapped bearish or bullish fair value gap, excuse me. I ended up market entering right here on this candle and then pretty much aiming for this high up here, right? Aiming for that high right there. As you guys can see, it was about a 3R trade here. I ended up going with 4 contracts on my JTn&x account and then 2 contracts on my Tradeful accounts. And this ended up netting me pretty good gains, man. It was about 3,400 on 5 accounts and then 1,500 on the other Tradeful account. So very, very solid freaking day. Like, it was super good. It was just a 32-point trade with an 11-point stop loss. It was really, really good. Followed the exact framework that I teach in the group. And I mean, you could see how much else, like how much more points it ran after that. It literally ran over 100 points or exactly 100 points. But I mean, this right here was good enough for me. Once we swept the previous day high, like this literally was good enough for me. I'm not going to get greedy with this stuff because I've had plenty of times where it hits the fucking target and then it just retraces like crazy. So I'm not going to get greedy with that. That was my main target for the day. We ended up hitting it, and then we ended up retracing and pretty much forming this pretty nice range here in the rest of the afternoon session till close. So that was the trade that I ended up taking that netted me 18.5K across 6 funded accounts. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave me a thumbs up, subscribe. It really helps the channel out. And if you guys want a group or a community that you guys can learn directly from me, check the description down below. I have a free 5-day trial, and it is only going on for the rest of this month. I am actually getting rid of the monthly sub and going to a one-time payment to a mentorship program type of group. So you guys are not going to be able to join the monthly sub for a pretty long time. I think until like sometime next year. But if you guys want to join, learn from me, and you know, get with a really goated community. No glaze to myself, but the link in the description will be down below. If you guys want my free trading checklist as well to vet these type of setups, check the description down below. There is a free PDF down there that you guys can download. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the recap. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I will catch you guys later. Have a good rest of your guys' day, and I will not be trading the rest of the week. I actually have a funeral to go to for my grandpa. He sadly passed away, so rest in peace. I will be gone for the rest of the week. I will be back Monday. So catch you guys later. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Peace out. Have a good rest of your guys' day.